And welcome back, guys. Welcome back to my studio, to my personal video blog, let's say. I'm going to continue studying today because I have made already 19 videos how I play out of position on the flop versus an in position caller who calls me on the button. Okay, and my intention is to make 25 videos, and after that I will switch to the in position play where I'm gonna be the caller and playing versus an aggressive opener, right? So let's see how it's going to be, but let's study some of the hands that we have here today. I played a very nice session yesterday that was really nice, really cool. Enjoyed it a lot. However, there were some hands that I didn't quite know how to play, and I feel it is really great to kind of study them. And look, the very first hand that we're going to start with is going to be this King Queen. Okay, and the flop is going to be 6-2-2. So as far as I told you many times, we are not going to take into account these two players at the moment. I will pretend in my mind that a button guy called me, the guy on the button. He called me and now I have to play versus him. As I told you many times before, why I do that? Because I'm not going to play to the turn yet, and that's why we don't even want to know yet what is the reaction of this guy, what is the reaction of this guy when we bet or when we check or what we do here. Okay, so that's why we're not going to take into account these two guys at the moment. We study purely, we open, there is this flop, and the guy on the button calls us. Okay, this is my method in order to study step by step and understand the very basics of poker. Okay, good. Now we have this flop. Now let me open up my favorite Power Equilab, and we're going to work on our opening range first. So as usual, I take 35% of ace-10 offsuit and I play 6-6 plus. I take all the Broadway hands, that is top suited connectors. I open up ace-9 suited and king-9 suited and jack-9 suited, 10-9 suited. And I'm going to play these guys. I will open up 50% of ace-2 suited. I will open up 50% of queen-9 suited. And I will go for 25% of 9-8, 8-7, 7-6, 6-5, 5-4. And 25% of 5-5, 15% of 4-4, 3-3, 2-2. And I almost forgot this guy here. King, queen, offsuit, right? These guys, let's say. Great, so our opening range is like this, 187.4 hands, which makes 14.1%. I'm pretty good with this range, I love it so far. I'm pretty happy that I started folding out these ace-8, ace-7, ace-6. You know, they're not that playable for me, at least on my limits at the moment, so I'm pretty fine with folding them. Okay, good. So I feel pretty happy with this one. Now let's see. The board that we have is going to be 6-2-2. 6 of hearts, 2 of hearts, 2 of spades. Okay, 6 of hearts, 2 of hearts, 2 of spades. Great. Okay, perfect. This is the board. Now let's see. So I think this board really favors us. Why is that? Because we strike the sets of 6-6 here, right? And plus we have all the hands that are better than these. Look, there are so many hands that are so much better than all this, right? That's why we have to be, thinking here, how to play this board, what to play on this board, right? What's going on here, right? I think this board is very interesting. The opponent, on the other hand, the opponent will be striking a lot of pairs, right? The opponent will have something like 7-6, 6-6, 6-5, right? 8-6, the opponent might have 9-6 if the opponent is super loose, right? So the opponent will be around this board as well. Plus the opponent will have more tutu than we have. And the opponent might have more of ace-2, right? I don't think the opponent will ever have king-2 suited, right? If it is not a maniac or not a very loose recreational player. So yeah, so far I think we're going to have an advantage on this board, right? So let's see. If we have this board, right, and we have this amount of combinations, Now, what are we going to bet here? Okay, I'm going to bring up my calculator here. Let me open up my calculator. And according to the book, the one that I mentioned so many times by Matthew Janda, if you are new here, you can check out some of my very first videos where I talk about the book that I used to study poker. I love it because it provides just some pure theory, after which you can adapt to different players. Okay, so according to that book, we are going to bet on the boards that favor us. We're going to bet around 60% of our range. So let's see, 182.15 multiply 0.6 in order to get 60% of our range, okay? Now, look, this is the amount of hands that we are going to bet here. So let's try to check out what are we going to bet here, right? Okay, so first, let's think, 6, 6 to 2. First, I will check my super nuts here, right? Okay, 6, 6 to 2. And I think 7, 6 as well. 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. So look here, if we go on with these guys here, okay, it looks fantastic, great. You have like 51, 52 combinations that are going to be value bets. You know, I think that it might be too value heavy possibly, right? So like, do you want to go this way? It's a very good question. Maybe not, right? Maybe you don't want to bet all your, heavy, value heavy cards. So I don't know. Well, we'll see now. We will see how it's going to be. I think this board is great to, to practice. I don't know yet how to play this board. Okay, ace 2. Okay, we can bet here. And so these are my value hands, right? Kinda. We are a little bit too heavy in terms of value. Now, let's see. If we even bet this amount of value hands, can we have bluffs that would make like 50 bluffs? Let's try to find these bluffs, okay? So we definitely are going to bluff with all our flushes for sure, right? So you see draw flush, you're going to bet here. I'm sure of that. And these guys, okay. Plus, we can add up some of our draw flushes that are going to be our top draw flushes with aces and some just high cards here. So you see we have runner flush and a high card. Okay, we can add up this one as well. Perfect. Oh, sorry, I didn't mark it as my bluffs. Okay, let me mark it as my bluffs like this. Okay, so that we could see that these are pure bluffs that can improve to the best combinations here. Okay, and these guys, okay, good. Now let's see, we have already 44 bluffs. That's a significant amount if you ask me. Plus, I think we can add up some of these guys that are going to bluff, especially ace 4, ace 3. I think, especially these guys with spades. So we can add up spades here, right? You see, if we strike a 3 or a 4 or a 5 on the board, we can have a pair, or we can have a gut shot, or we can have a flush, right? Or we can have a draw flush. So I think we're pretty good with these hands and betting them. Now look here, so the amount that we're going to bet here is going to be 47 now. Now, do I want to bet anything else? Possibly yes, possibly no. Let's think. I think I would really like to bet some of these guys. 5-5, 4-4, 3-3. They are still very good bluffs possibly because they can make our opponent fold a lot of his hands, right? And he can fold a lot of his like king jack, king queen, king 10, queen jack, queen 10, possibly jack 10. He'll be calling more with like ace king, ace queen, king queen, possibly ace jack. So he's going to call these top range hands, right, that have like higher potential. He's going to drop a lot of these kind of high middle hands, top middle hands, right? These ones and broadways, like that's really tough for them, for a lot of them. Like, imagine like you have king 10 of clubs. What are you going to call on this board versus a 75% bet? I don't think so. So that's why like these hands are going to be folded optimally by our opponents. And look, we don't have that many bluffs here, so that's totally fine if we adopt them here. Okay, now let's see. We're going to have approximately 50.65 bluffs and 52.9 value bets. Actually, this is almost exactly the number that we need here. We have here 109, and here we have 103 approximately, right? Now let's see. Do I want to bet all of them, or I want to check call here as well? I think I want to check call, and I want to check call with some of my very strong hearts. Okay, I'm going to check call, I think, with some of my aces here, right? With aces of hearts, because this is like such a strong combination that I possibly don't want to, you know, I don't want to just bet here. I want to possibly check call, catch one more ace, or, you know, just let the opponent bluff. You know, I don't risk that much with my aces of hearts, because if one more heart comes, I will have a draw flush with my ace, right? And I can balance it very well with some of my very powerful draw flushes like ace king, ace queen, possibly even ace jack, but it is more vulnerable, you know, because if a queen comes or a king comes, you know, we are going to have to call one more time, play check call. So they are kind of more vulnerable here. But I think that's fine if you sometimes call with ace jack of hearts. You know, this is a very powerful and strong combination in your check calling range. Now, what else do I want to check call here? These guys, I don't want to check call. I want to bluff bet with them. These guys, I want to check call. I want to also put in my calling range these sixes, okay? Maybe there is no need to bet all of these sixes. Maybe I want to check call with them, maybe check raise sometimes. Okay, I'll temporarily put it like this, okay? Now let's see. As for kings, I think they're pretty vulnerable still, even kings of hearts, right? So I think I might want to bet with them, and queens and jacks and tens and nines and eights, eights, sevens, especially these guys. You definitely want to bet with sevens, eights, and nines, because the same situation, they're super vulnerable. They're super vulnerable to opponents' flushes. They're super vulnerable to opponents these high cards. Yeah, so I think you know, you have to be careful with them. I think these sevens can be with the sevens of hearts. They can be possibly, or without sevens of hearts, you know, they can be very good check raises possibly. You know why? Because the opponent might have a six that he intends to bet. And versus his six, you can check raise, and it will be really tough time for him, because he will have no choice but to call with his sixes. Yeah, so that's why like this board is pretty tough, I think. Okay, you know, let's imagine that we are going to check raise some of our you know, it is at the same time not that a perfect check value raise, right? Maybe we want to check raise more sixes here, like some of our sixes, yeah? Maybe we want to check raise some of our ace 2. No, I don't want to check raise ace 2 that much, to be honest. Very vulnerable hand, I think. But as for this 6, I really want to check raise it. I really want to check raise it. Let me think. A little bit more bluffs here, 5-4 fully, because we have a gut shot here. These guys bluff. 6-5. What about this 6-5? It is going to check call. Okay, 6-6. Okay, now let's see. Even if we imagine that we have this amount of hands, bluffs and value check raises, that is going to make 48 plus 46, that is 94, 95 combinations. And it means, okay, wait a second. I will do this, 95 combinations, 182.15 minus 95 combinations will equal 87.15. Okay, this is going to be our hands that we are going to check, right? So let's see, what can we check and defend, right? If we want to defend here, so multiply 0.67. Why 67? As I told you before, if you watched previous videos, if not, I will repeat. Let's imagine the opponent bets 50% on this board into the pot. So versus a 50% bet, you want to defend 67% of your check-in range. So you checked so far. Well, here the calculations are not quite correct because I have my check calling range here, but I can put it away so that you could see it better. Like this, and this one. So look here, I'm going to check 86 points, well, 87 approximately, right? 86, 87 combinations, and I multiply by 67, okay, 0.67, in order to get the amount of hands. Why is that? Because this is the minimum defense frequency that we have to defend of our range versus our opponent's 50% bet in the pot. Okay, and let's see, the amount of hands that we are going to defend is going to be 58.3. So around 58 hands from our check-in range that we have to defend. Will we have this amount of hands in my check-in range? Let's try to find this, okay? If I'm going to defend this 6-6, 6-5, if I'm going to defend this ace-king of hearts, plus I will possibly add up ace-king of spades, ace-queen of spades, ace-jack of spades, I'm going to defend that one ace of hearts, my aces. Okay, what else? I might want to defend, maybe some of my top spades as well here. Ace-2. Yeah, as you can see, we're so value heavy here that honestly we don't even have enough check calls here. We need to have this amount of check calls. We don't have them. So where is the problem? I think the problem is because we have so many value bets here, right? So maybe we want to take out some of these value bets, and more often we want to check call with them, right? So because we honestly still need a check calling range. Usually solver says on such boards that favor you so heavily, maybe you want to only bet, and if you check anything you just check fold, kinda. But I still think we need to defend something. I want to put some hands into my defense, you know, and just purely logically, you know, I really want to have these sixes in my check-in range. You know, because I want the opponent to bet here to be provoked, and I have such a strong combination. It is still vulnerable, that's true, but I really want to see the next hand and play possibly from the turn with these sets of sixes, you know. So that's why, like, I have to think here. What else can I check call here? Ace-4, ace-4, ace-4. I think I might want to check call some of these hands. To be honest, I would bluff them as well sometimes. I mean, like spades, my Broadway spades. Okay, I will add up these spades. To be honest, here spades, they bluff as well. That is 8-7, for example. Definitely bluffs here. 7-6, 6-5. Okay, I will add up some of my spades in my check calling range. I think they're still very powerful. I don't want to fold them. So I will add up these ace-10 of spades, king-queen of spades, king-jack of spades, king-10 of spades, possibly queen-jack. So you have to be careful with these hands, you know, because maybe the opponent already has a set and you already lost. Yeah, so you have to be careful with these hands. Maybe queen-jack. Maybe queen-jack, I will add up sometimes. Okay, maybe these hands are going to be my check calls here. Now look here, I have in my check calling range, I have 17.7 combinations. Not very satisfied, very far from the amount that is presented there, right? 58. Okay, so, but at the same time, like, I think, okay, how to play them this logically, right? This hand. What else can we do here? I think there's a very tough board. I definitely don't want to play check calls with my ace-5, ace-4, ace-3 of diamonds and clubs, because they have very low potential. If you want to play with them, you must bluff bet them, but you definitely cannot check call with them because this is minus EV. Their expected value is going to be very low, and like you don't have any mate combinations with them. Don't be, you know, mistaken here. Okay, I think I might want to double check with the solver here on this board. So let's go and take a look what the solver suggests here. Let's open up the solver here. I think the solver will say like bet here more, and the rest like play, check, fold. But you know, these solvers are not perfect. You know, they are not people. So that's why, like, you know, people don't think like solvers and they don't play like solvers. They are not ideal. Okay, it is loading a little bit. Let's wait. Okay, study. This one, highly recommend you to use GTO Wizard. You know, at least some things are really good here. I enjoy it. So we imagine that we open up on the UTG and button calls, and on the flop we have, okay, let's clean this one. We have 6 to 2, right? 6 of hearts, 2 of hearts, and 2 of spades. Wait a second. 6, 2, 2. Okay, so this is the flop. Look here. What does the solver suggest here? How does the solver suggest to play? The solver says that you have to check. Look here. This is not like all the time, right? But you have to check a significant amount of time, 75.9%. Okay, and you have to bet around 47 plus here 50, around 50 combinations. Okay, what does it bet here? Look, queens, so these broadways with hearts. This is really good to see. You understand that you actually do want to bluff with some of your king jack of hearts, king jack of spades, right? Ace jack of hearts, ace jack of spades, ace queen of hearts, ace queen of spades. Yeah, ace king, the same, like of spades. Aces, bet and call, bet and call, bet and call. Queen jack, I don't play queen jack style. Yeah, 6 6 6 5, ace 2, ace 6, king 6. Well, I don't have ace 6, king 6. I do have ace 2. I do have 6 5. I have 6 6. I have 2 2. Yeah, okay. So you see, that's the thing. Why does the solver say it in this way? Because the solver thinks that the opponent will be betting into you on this board. That the opponent has to do a significant amount of time, because the opponent has 3 3, 4 4, 5 5 that they must bluff in their position, right? And but the question is, do you really expect people on low limits to bet into you? I don't talk about recreational players who don't get the poker theory, but who does get poker theory, they actually don't bet into you as well, because we have a lot of needs there that are going to sit with their 2 cards and wait forever until they get their nuts, okay? Till they get their best combination. So versus such players, you don't want to wait. You don't want to check. And this is the main difference between, as I told you, between solvers and people. You have to think, you have to adapt to each player. If you know that the player is going to bet into you, yes, go into defense. If you think that the opponent is going to, check back, check back, check back, and they're going to wait till the very best combination, then you must take it into your hands, you must control the game, and you must bet here, okay? This is the main difference here that many people don't understand. I think it is very important to... What's going on? Where is my whole range that I just worked on? Let me see, can I? Okay, good, it is back, this is back. Okay, but I will take something from this solver. That is that I can bluff with these guys. Okay, I can bluff with these hands. So I will put them into my bluff. Okay, I agree that I don't quite want to call with them because, king jack of spades, you might want to call sometimes, you might want to bet with it, because you want to catch the running flush, right? Draw flush. At the same time, you might want to catch the top pair, and then you can go into defense if you want. So I will add this up into my defense. Oh, sorry, into my bluffing range. Okay, like this. So these guys, I will add up, add up, add up, add up, add up. Okay, add up. This one I will add up. I do still think that ace king, ace queen of hearts, and ace jack of hearts, I would put in my check calling range for sure still. I want to do this. into my check calling range. Yeah, like this, like this. Ace king of hearts. Actually, this one with hearts, I think we can do the check calling thing as well here. Ace king. We might maybe want to ace king call all of it. This one is a very good candidate for check calling here, to be honest. All of it. I think, you know, this entire ace king, I will check call all of this. I think it stands very well on the turn. If there is a king or an ace coming, we still can continue check calling. I think that's great, depending on the aggressiveness of our opponent. And these guys, king, queen, jack. I think I will do this with king, queen, jack. I think the solver would suggest to check call with hearts. Let me see. Oh no, just 50-50. Just 50-50 for all of it. Okay, I will do then this. I will take this from the solver so that sometimes I bet, sometimes I check call, and this would be a good thing for me. So I would get my check calls and I will get my bets, value bets. Okay, look, now my check calling range is growing. This is really, really good. Okay, like this is fine, I think. And look here, what do they do here? They do check with all these guys. I wouldn't want to do that for sure. I really want to bet here and charge the sixes of my opponent, to charge some baby pairs of my opponent. Yeah, I want to charge my opponent right here, right now. As for this 6-5, I want to put it into my check calling range, and 7-6 I want to possibly bet here. I know why they bet 6-5, because they're still running straight. That's why I might want to bet actually this one. Okay, I will bet this one. Then I will bet this one, guys, and I will check call with my 7-6. I think then this one is gonna be more reasonable to check call. Okay, like this. Bluff with 8-7, great. Okay, good. Okay, then it's gonna be like this. I will play check call with 30.75 combinations, and I will be value betting 37. I will be bluff betting 52. In terms of ratio, these numbers are much better than 50-50 that I had before, right? I think this is much better. We have a less amount of value hands, and we have a huger amount of bluff C bets that we have here. So I think we're good here. As for this one, we need to have some... Okay, do we really want to have anything like in our check calling range? You know, when there is these type of boards, and I have very strong check raises like with sixes, like, and that I can combine with ace-4, ace-3. I think in these terms, let me put these check raises onto turn street. So on such boards, I really do prefer to put these 6-2, like this type of streets. I prefer to have my check raises on the turn more, because this board is really unclear, and I think you can see how the opponent reacts, what the opponent does, whether the opponent bets and you defend, and then on the turn you can play check raise, or you can play donk bet. It depends on your opponent. Okay, if the opponent is aggressive, you might want to go for the check raise because you are sure that the opponent will bet on the turn. But if the opponent is passive, like needs that like to control the pot, they can bet, check back, and then they can bet, for example, or check back again. Yeah, versus such players, you might want to donk bet on the turn. Okay, good. So this hand, like on the one hand, this hand on the one hand. Okay, so on the one hand, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Morning as usual. So on the one hand, you might want to bet here. On the other hand, you might want to defend. On the one hand, this board favors us and it looks very easy. On the other hand, there are some complications about this board because kinda our opponent is all around this board very often. So, but I still do think that you have favor on this board. You have an advantage here, and you are going to... You might really want to control the pot. I really like to control the pot in this case, so don't be kinda passive, guys. Poker is not a passive game, and this is the game of logic. I tell you, the solver says this thing because it thinks in the optimal way. and it thinks that the opponent might want to bet into you. Let's just take a look. I'm sure the solver will say that the opponent bluffs here a lot, bets a lot into you. Okay, let me see, where is my mouse? Yeah, so if I check, and then the button, let's just see what the button does here on this board. Just look at that. The button, oh, still, okay, the button is going to bet here. Still significant amount of the button's range, you see. 35 combinations here, 7.6 combinations here, some combinations here. So the opponent is going to bet still some amount of their range. 45.5% plus 9, 55% of the range that they're going to bet, you see. Almost like more, almost 60, right? That's why like you have to be careful. Look, the opponent might have some of 9s, 8s, 7s, but still you will understand that they have it, like depending on their play. Play logically, you might want to control the pot, you know, will be advantageous in this way. Okay, so this is my approach, guys. I'm not saying that I'm a professional. I'm not saying that that's exactly how it should be, but it really helps me to understand the game and make some money on the top. So yeah, thank you very much. You have all the rights to disagree with what I'm saying here, and you are like totally, you know, for yourself, stand for yourself and play the way you want to play. I'm just sharing my way of approaching this and how I kind of like started taking, you know, getting an edge on my opponents. So thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.